My name is Savannah Blake. I'm 28 years old, and I learned something painful very early in life. Silence can hurt louder than cruelty. The last birthday my family truly celebrated for me was when I turned 19. After that, nothing. No calls, no cards, no cake, not even a lazy social media post pretending they remembered. At first, I made excuses for them. They're busy. Adults forget things. It's not a big deal. But every year, when my birthday arrived and passed unnoticed, something inside me cracked a little more. Because birthdays aren't really about presents. They're about being remembered. And year after year, I realized I wasn't. What made it worse was that I never stopped showing up for them. I babysat my sister's kids when she wanted weekends free. I covered utility bills when my parents fell behind. I drove my mother to appointments when nobody else had time. I helped everyone, quietly, consistently, without complaint. And still, when my birthday came around, I became invisible. By 28, I was tired of waiting for love to arrive in the form of forgotten apologies. So this year, I did something different. Instead of hoping my phone would light up with birthday wishes, I gave myself something no one could take away from me. A lake house. Not rented, not borrowed. Mine. The kind with floor-to-ceiling windows that caught the sunrise over the water. A long wooden dock stretching into the lake like a promise. Silence without loneliness. Peace without permission. On the morning of my birthday, I stood barefoot on that dock, coffee in one hand, keys in the other, and posted 3 simple photos online. One of the house, one of the water, one of me smiling for real. The caption read, "Birthday gift to myself." That was all. By noon, my phone exploded. 37 missed calls, 6 voicemails, dozens of texts. Apparently, 9 years of silence could be cured instantly by real estate. The first voicemail came from my mother. Her voice sounded strangely sweet, almost rehearsed. "Savannah, honey, we saw your post. That house is beautiful. Call us back, okay? We want to celebrate with you." Celebrate. Interesting word choice after nearly a decade of forgetting I existed every March. Then came my father's message. "Where did you get the money for a place like that? Call me before you make any stupid decisions." Same control, different packaging. But my sister's text was the one that made me laugh. "Please answer. We need to talk. Not, how are you? Not, happy birthday. Just, we." As if my success had somehow become a family emergency. That evening, I sat on the dock watching the sunset melt across the lake in shades of gold and orange. For the first time in years, my birthday felt peaceful. Not because someone finally remembered. Because I stopped waiting for them to. Then my sister video called me. I ignored it. Seconds later, another message appeared. "How could you buy something like this without telling us? Do you know what people will think?" And there it was. Not concern, not pride, optics. My success embarrassed them because it shattered the story they had always told themselves about me. The overlooked daughter, the quiet helper, the one who stayed small enough to ignore. I replied with one sentence. "It wasn't yours to know about." Then I locked my phone and leaned back against the dock railing, letting the silence heal places their neglect had hollowed out. But deep down, I knew this wasn't over. The next morning proved it. I woke up to pounding at the gate. At first, I thought it was furniture delivery. But when I checked the security camera, my stomach tightened. My parents, my sister, her husband, standing outside my property like they had every right to be there. "Savannah," my mother shouted through the intercom. "Open the gate. This is ridiculous. We're family." Family. Funny how that word only appeared when they wanted access to something. Where was family when I spent my 23rd birthday eating grocery store cupcakes alone in a tiny apartment? Where was family when I worked double shifts to help pay their bills while nobody remembered mine? I watched them argue outside for almost 20 minutes before finally opening the upstairs window. The lake breeze rolled through the room as I leaned out calmly. "You forgot my birthday for 9 years," I said evenly. "I guess I forgot to invite you in." The silence that followed was almost beautiful. My sister's husband looked uncomfortable. My mother stared at me in disbelief, and my father's jaw clenched so tightly I thought he might crack a tooth. "Savannah, stop being dramatic," my mother snapped. "That house is too much for one person. We could help you manage it." There it was, the truth. Not love, not reconciliation, access, control, entitlement. I smiled softly. "Then I guess you'll have to manage your disappointment." And I closed the window. That night, the family group chat, silent for years, suddenly came alive. "We just want to celebrate with you. People make mistakes. You can't hold grudges forever." But their words felt hollow now, because people who truly care about you don't suddenly remember your value when your life becomes impressive. Then my boss called. "Savannah," he said warmly, "your project landed the client. Your bonus already hit your account." 6 figures. I laughed quietly at the timing. The people who supported me professionally had celebrated my success before my own family ever did. Meanwhile, through the security cameras, I watched my relatives still sitting outside my gate arguing among themselves. For years, I begged emotionally for a seat at their table. Now they were begging physically for access to mine. And somehow, that irony healed something in me. The next morning, my sister showed up again, this time carrying balloons and a small birthday cake. Mascara streaked under her eyes. My mother stood beside her looking exhausted. "Please," my sister begged into the camera, "you're humiliating us." Humiliating. Interesting choice of words. Not hurting us. Not "we miss you." Just concern about appearances. I brewed my coffee slowly before finally speaking through the intercom. "Do you remember my 21st birthday?" I asked calmly. Silence. I waited all night for someone to come over. The cake melted on the counter. Nobody showed up. No one answered. That was the year I stopped expecting to matter. My sister started crying. "Savannah, please." "No," I interrupted gently. "This house, this peace, this life. None of you helped build it. You don't get to show up now pretending you earned a place in it." The balloons slipped from her hand and floated upward into the sky. And for the first time in my life, they all looked at me like they were finally seeing me clearly. Not the helper, not the backup plan, me. I turned off the camera feed and walked away. No screaming, no revenge speech, just boundaries. The missed calls climbed past 80 by the end of the week. Some angry, some desperate, some strangely emotional. Then came the message that almost made me laugh out loud. "If you won't answer, we'll involve lawyers." That house was supposed to be ours. Ours. That word again. I opened my laptop calmly and pulled up the deed. One name. Mine. The ink was dry, the ownership final. And suddenly, their panic made perfect sense. They had never imagined the forgotten daughter would someday build a life they couldn't control. That evening, I posted one final message online. Family doesn't disappear for nearly a decade and suddenly return when there's something to gain. This year, I chose myself. The response overwhelmed me. Friends, co-workers, even strangers shared stories of feeling invisible inside their own families. And for the first time in years, I didn't feel forgotten. I felt understood. A few nights later, there was another knock at the door, softer this time, tentative. My sister's voice came through quietly. "Please, can we come in? We'll make it right." I stared at the door for a long moment. Part of me wanted to believe her, because hope doesn't disappear easily, even after years of disappointment. But then I remembered every lonely birthday, every unanswered message. Every moment I convinced myself crumbs were enough because I was afraid to ask for more. So I stayed where I was, near the fireplace, wrapped in peace I had built myself. And softly, almost to the flames themselves, I whispered, "Some doors stay closed for a reason." Then I powered my phone off. Outside, the lake water moved gently beneath the moonlight. Inside, the silence no longer hurt. For the first time in my life, it protected me.